Hello, everyone, and welcome to Make Believe, where we're playing The House in Fata Morgana. Last time, Giselle was actually able to talk to Morgana and learn about Michelle's wish and made a wish of her own. However, it was very limited as it only wished for his reincarnation, or re. I forgot what was the term they used. But yeah, now she has been working as a maid for who knows how long, wishing for the two to reunite without certainty. And that was about how my days went. Well, for an incomprehensibly long time. And then we jump about 100 years in the future. 101, I think. For the first 100 years, I kept track of how much time had passed. An hour, a day, a month, a year, 10 years, 50. But once it had surpassed a person's average lifespan, the counting started driving me mad, and so I stopped. My sense of time began to numb. In place of sleep, I spent my days in a trance like state. Doing so, I was less aware of the passage of time, which made it a little easier to bear. Suspended in this bubble of time, my mind went out to you. And more time's passing. Another 100 years. The next thing I lost a sense of was myself. I lived as a human for 21 years. After spending nearly 10 times that trapped in dimension, I began to feel like that was all I had ever been. Makes sense? When what you thought was your life is only 1/11th of your lifetime, yeah, it would make you feel like those 10/11s are what your life actually is. That maybe my past was all a construction of my imagination. In a shorter sense, think of, well, of course we don't remember when we were born, so it's not this exact same thing, but an 11-year-old thinking about their last 10 years or their first year of life. Like, those last 10 years are gonna be everything. Well, no recollection of that first year. That as an otherworldly being, I merely fantasized about being human. Had I actually had a family? Had there actually been other people in the world? Oh yeah, and she has lived in this mansion tucked away with no human contact whatsoever. So yeah, that can drive a person insane. There's Brooke levels, and then there's Giselle levels of stuff. You know, did cities and villages really exist? Was there ever really a time when light shone through the windows? When we were happy? But I knew if I started doubting everything, I wouldn't be able to maintain myself. So I settled on believing one thing, that you, Michelle, were real. That you had been with me. That I had loved you. And that it was you I was waiting for. I tried to always remember that one fact. More time. Another 100 years. Another century goes by. My characteristic energy and cheer were disappearing. I'm honestly surprised it lasted 300 years. By then, I hardly ever raised my voice anymore. I mean, you would be talking to anyway, Morgana. And in response to that change, the witch seemed to treat me a little nicer. Oh, and yeah, I guess she was talking with Morgana. On occasion, I thought I could sense her presence nearby, like she might reveal her form to me from beyond the darkness instead of only speaking to me. I could feel her sitting beside me. Fireplace. Giselle, do you think you're still Giselle, even now? I suppose it doesn't matter either way. Sometimes I think love and fanaticism are two sides of the same coin. What are you implying? Oh, nothing. An idea though. Why don't we make you some new clothes, my dear? The loom should still work. Thanks you're keeping everything in order. That outfit is an artifact of an age-long past by now. You know how long it's been? Vaguely, but yes. As we speak, time still marches onward. Not too quickly, not too slowly, but at the same pace as you're breathing. Now, on your feet, Giselle. We have plenty of time. So let's make you the perfect maid. And if we don't have enough materials, we can make more thread from the sheets or curtain. How exciting. Following our instructions, I wove garments in a style that did not exist in my era. They were quite strange to behold. The old me might have been stricken with fascination by them, but at that point, I wasn't even sure how to rejoice, how to be impressed, or how to be moved anymore. Yeah, she was just went numb. Her emotions went numb. Oh, we're just skipping like that. We're not even showing the years and decades go by. Just skip the century like that, huh? It sounds like rain again. What year is it? Oh, it doesn't matter what year it is. It doesn't matter where it is. As long as you're there, it can be anytime, anywhere. Where are you, Michelle? What are you doing? I'm still praying. I'm still wishing for you to appear before me. Reconstruction, I think, was a term that Morgana used forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Been praying for so long. Don't even know how long it's been. Before you left, you said you were going to pray too. You said you hoped we could meet again in another life. I'm not misremembering, am I? Michelle, come back to me soon. Love you so, so very much. But my memories of you seem to fade. What did your voice sound like? What kind of faces did you make? Where did you like to put your hands on me? I don't want to forget. I want to always remember my memories of you, the only thing holding me together. But You're slipping away from me. How did you speak? What kind of things did you talk about? Losing all these memories. Please, Michelle, come back to me before I forget everything. My beloved master. The thought crossed my mind that maybe Morgana's guaranteed that you'd be reconstructed. Ah, was just a lie to trick me into staying here. But I quickly discarded it, because if she had been lying, it would strip all meaning from my very existence. It would take me from my purpose for being here. So I didn't want to accept that possibility. I had no choice but to persevere in my belief that you would return one day. I had always thought I would be alright, and my faith would never waver. I still believed in myself. But you can be the happiest, most optimistic, resolute person in the world, and you would still break eventually. And I was at the point where even the slightest tap would shatter me into fragments. And I wonder what the tap was. Not quite a century this time. Close, but not quite. Several hundred years after I was enslaved within the mansion, something changed from the very first time. Sunlight, which I had not seen in all that time, shone in from outside. At first, I did not believe it was real. I thought it was a hallucination born of my inner desires, and I thought I must have completely lost it for my fantasies to have escaped my mind. But it didn't matter if it was all an illusion. The gentle breeze blowing in through the window felt wonderful. The smell of grass, the chirping of birds, the glistening blue sky. It was like 1,000 memories rushing back all at once, and it brought tears to my eyes. The time has come, Giselle. It is time for you to get to work. Is it the waxen hair family's grandfather? And as she always did, the witch's voice crushed my elation, dragging me back to reality. Reveling in the sight of the outside was the last thing I should have been doing, for it was that moment that began my true decline. Work? What kind of work? Have you already forgotten? Oh, good heavens. Do you have your head on straight, my dear? No, she does not. As I said, I need you to watch over the house and show your utmost hospitality to those who show up. Is someone... This is merely an appetizer. It looks like someone's here. Hold on. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Do the same thing you have been doing. Be a maid. Convince the house guests that this is a wonderful place. Make them enjoy their stay. Now go on. I'm quite looking forward to this. The bar has been removed. But will the door open? For so long, the door had refused to budge. For so long, light had forsaken the halls. For so long, there had been no trace of life And now, all of that had turned on its head. I felt like I had stepped into heaven on earth. I know it sounds melodramatic, so please don't laugh. It was almost certainly a perfectly ordinary slice of nature. Leaves and grass rustled in the wind, flowers specked the earth, and in the distance was a city I didn't recognize. Oh, is it the city that in the future becomes the city of the boy that Pauline visits? I wondered where I was, of course, but neither shouted nor jumped in surprise. Instead, I found myself accepting of my circumstances, as unnatural as they might have been. As I was standing there idly before the entrance, a carriage rolled up. Eega, could this be the road? Could this road be any bloody worse? It's in the dire need of paving, on top of everything else. Hmm? And who might you be, young lady? That outfit. He's speaking a different language. The middle-aged man approached me. From his attire and the way he held himself, he appeared to be upper class. However, the words coming out of his mouth were not in the language I had grown up speaking. Could the dimension have moved somewhere far, far away? Naturally, I had no idea how such a thing was possible. Oh, is that why there was no light and suddenly there was light coming into the building, into the dimension now? Because the building was kind of like lost in time and space, and now that found its appetizer, as the Morgana put it, it located itself here. Of course, this is all just crazy conjectures at this point. And the longer I stood there, staring at him absent-mindedly, the more incredulous he became. My immediate mission was to overcome the language barrier. Fortunately, I suppose I was able to understand bits and pieces of what he had said. As merchants in the capital, my family did business with people from other countries, and as a result, had learned a handful of words. The problem was, it had been so long ago, I had no confidence whatsoever in my ability to hold a conversation. Like 400 or 500 years ago, I am a servant. Servant? I'd say I remember asking for a lady servant. But, I suppose these things do happen. Doesn't much matter who they sent. Who, who are you? You weren't informed? Bloody hell. Off to a great start, I see. Well, what can you do, I guess? Name's Hayden Rhodes. Just a retired old man. Can we see Hayden? As I'm sure you have already guessed. Yeah, the Rhodes family. The wax and hair family, yep. As I'm sure you have already guessed, this man was the Rhodes siblings' grandfather. Yep, I guessed it a while back, the moment that Morgana started talking about guests finally arriving. Actually, the moment that the clock stopped at 1591 instead of 600. He was also the first person I served under as the maid. Oh, look how decorated we came. Oh, this music. For a member of a esteemed noble family, Hayden was a bit on the eccentric side. See, even this music came back. Because I'm pretty sure this music was all the way from that chapter. He only hired a handful of servants, claiming he was not fond of glamour. There was a single chef, a physician, A servant to take care of all the cleaning, and then me, who served as his personal assistant. Whenever he got the chance, Hayden would chase me down and make me practice proper etiquette. According to him, I had much to learn. You are, at least technically, a servant of the Rhodes family, young lady, so I can't have you going around playing the country bumpkin act. Yes, sir. And we'll have to do something about that accent too, while we're at it. What's wrong with her accent? What's wrong with having an accent? I have an accent? Thicker than bloody molasses. Now, I have no interest in sticking my nose into your business, asking where you hail from. But while you're here, you must act the part, young lady. Quite ironic him calling her a young lady when she is more than five times his age. Lucky for you, I'm retired, and I have all the time in the world. I'll teach you everything you need to know about proper etiquette. Alright. Speak up, will ya? Yes, sir. Aiden did not go easy on me either. In addition to my day-to-day duties, I studied etiquette, the language, proper pronunciation, and formal diction. Anytime I made the slightest mistake, he would shout his dissatisfaction. Listen carefully. A servant is the face of a house. A servant's gaff is her master's gaff. Always keep this in mind. Oh, I hate when I do that. You're not just a maid. You must always act with elegance and grace. You must always maintain your composure, even if the house is falling down around you. Whatever happens, you deal with it quickly. Your language must be immaculate. No or pauses for any reason. Yes, sir. No stammering either. Sorry. Bloody hell. You're not going to make this easy, are you? Whose idea was it that a country bumpkin would make a good servant? I like to give him a piece of my mind. I'm not from the country. Not even slightly. I was raised in the capital. Is that so, huh? A prim and proper city girl, are you? In that case, you should be quick study. Absolutely. I can learn anything in a week. Piece of cake. Is that so? Alright then. Starting tomorrow, I'm tripling your lessons. I didn't think this through. In addition to being my master, Hayden was my teacher. When he yelled, he grew twice his size, and I shrunk to half mine. But it wasn't at all an unpleasant experience by any means, because I knew he wasn't raising his voice to belittle me. His instructions may have been harsh, but it was human interaction. There were people around that I could talk to, and that was wonderful. I was starting to regain some of my humanity. Like me, you still got a long life ahead of you, young lady. Oh, you bet she does, sir. You bet she does have a long life ahead of her. I don't know what kind of life you've lived, but I can't imagine it's been all that easy. No, it has not. No, not many servant girls your age without a home to go back to. Which is why you need to learn this. Once you got all the rules and customs down, You'll be able to hold your own at any noble's estate. You shouldn't have any trouble keeping yourself employed. I'm sure you think I'm just a loud, obnoxious old man. But I believe we met for a reason, so I hope you stick with me. I, don't think about you like that at all, Master. You're a remarkable man. One more time. I deeply appreciate your generous consideration, Master, from the bottom of my heart. I. I didn't know much about Hayden's situation, why he had retired to this mission all alone, away from the rest of his family. But anytime I asked about them, he would say, "It happens sometimes," with a melancholic frown. Before long, 2 years had passed. By that point, my etiquette had improved enough to satisfy his high standards. In that time, the mission underwent a number of decor changes, as Hayden brought in sculptors to work on different areas of the house. He also sealed off rooms that were not in use, such as the observation tower and the chapel. It was a sad thing, seeing areas with so many memories for me falling into disuse, but as a mere servant, had no say in the matter. In addition, Aiden seemed to greatly enjoy renovating the house, so I watched him warmly. The furniture was all gradually replaced, gorgeous paintings hung on the walls, colorfully patterned curtains installed, and a brilliant rose garden planted. These roses come from all across the world. Nowhere else can you see so many different varieties in one place. It's beautiful. Did you know that in the city, people are starting to call the mansion Rose Manor? Yeah, I remember. Rose Manor. And to think there used to be nothing but weeds here. Amazing how much it has changed. I never thought I would see this garden turn into something so beautiful. Are you fond of roses, young lady? Yes, red ones especially. Red roses means a great deal to me. They remind me of a time long past. Given one as a gift, were you? No, I believe I was the one who gave the rose. So red roses are a symbol of my feelings. They're very precious to me. I gave you a rose as a gift. You plucked it from its stem and placed it in my hair. Am I remembering it correctly? My memories are so vague now. I can't even remember the look on your face that day. There are some kids I like to give roses to myself. Oh. Who? My grandchildren, yep. I'm trying to remember what were their names. I can't remember right now. Oh my. You have grandchildren? Aye. Though we haven't been in touch in some time. Last I saw them 4 years ago. When my second grandchild was born. Oh. I think he was gonna say third grandchild. Because of that whole thing with that white hair girl. That I guess yeah, I guess he is the mother's father, and the mother had a relationship with the artist, and they had the white hair girl and everything. Yeah. So he knows about that. The sweetest girl in the world, with lovely flaxen hair. Yeah, just her personality got a little twisted along the way, you know? She's going to be a real beauty when she grows up. Anyway, they're wonderful kids. And one day, I want to hand this garden over to them. Each and every rose containing my hopes that they will lead comfortable, healthy lives free of strife. Well, your hopes are not gonna be met. I'm sure your wish will come to pass, as in go by and not realize. Your grandchildren will have wonderful lives. Aye. It's kind of nice seeing this other side of the story, you know? The grief of not having you around still weighted heavily on my mind. It still bothers me. I can't remember the grandchildren's name. But I was slowly approaching contentness. Life with Hayden was slow and uneventful, peaceful and relaxing. I imagined my heart was seeking anything to alleviate its pain. And it found in the beautifully remodeled mansion, the garden blooming wildly with roses, and my time with Hayden. I was even beginning to think this life was enough for me. That I would be okay with this being the end if it meant more of the tranquility I felt. I was like Howard, considering giving up on the fight. Please do forgive me for ever considering such a thing. I guess we're never gonna see how Hayden looks like. Hayden seemed to be in high spirits that day. A gift had apparently arrived from his son, who lived far away. In it was a tea set, some leaves, and a small jar of sugar. Miss! How can I be of service, master? Brew me up a pot of this, would ya? Be careful not steeping it for too long. You want to get it just right for the best flavor. As you wish, master. You seem quite pleased. Why would I be? A boy who's shunned his old man for years and sent him a paltry gift on a whim. Wait, a boy who shunned his old man. So, he's not the mother's father, but the father's father? But then, why does he consider the white hair girl, his second grandchild? The flaxen hair one, his grandchild. Unless he was gonna say something else, of course, but I don't know anymore. Maybe because he took his son's wife into the family and considered her as his own daughter. So even though she had a relationship with another man, he still considered their child his grandchild. But since it was kind of like a secret, something like not part of the main family, as to say, that's why he stopped himself from saying grandchild, but second. All this speculations in my mind. I'm just entertaining his fancy. Your tea is ready, master. Ah, what a wonderful smell. Tea and roses are life's best damn spices. Now let's see what that boy chose for me. If it's no good, I'll be sure to write him an angry letter. He looks so happy. He must really love his family. Hmm. It's a little bitter. Should I brew another pot? No, it's not your fault. Must be something in the leaves. Would you like to add some sugar then? There was a small jar of it with the tea set. Now that's some bloody fine sugar he's procured. White as snow and sparkles in the light. He chose it just for you, master. Bloody hell. What demon possessed him? Alright, give me 2 spoons then. Yes, master. Here you are. Ah, splendid. This is some exquisite tea. The sugar balanced the bitterness of the leaves perfectly. I guess that boy does have some. Master? Oh boy. Is the tea like poison or something? Master? Master! The doctor! I need to find the doctor. Water. What? Oh, water. Water. I'll get you some water right away. So please, please hang in there. Thanks to the quick treatment provided by his personal physician, Aiden survived. But he didn't make it out with much more than his life. He was permanently bedridden by the affair. Evidently, the sugar I had put in his tea had contained poison. Yup. When they started talking about the sugar that came with the tea set and how he mentioned how the sugar was like perfect, like a perfect condition, white as snow and sparkling, I had my doubts about it. Which had done irreparable damage to his nerves and muscles. Most of his body was completely immobile, except for his left arm. Curious why his left arm? Can I bring you something? Some water, perhaps? I've had more than my fill of water. You don't need to wait on me hand and foot. That face says you need to distract yourself by working. I remember what I told you. Nobles' family servants must always act with elegance and grace. You must always maintain your composure. But how can you expect me to remain composed? If I had only examined the sugar more thoroughly, I never would have noticed, young lady. I examined the sugar, and I didn't see a bloody thing wrong with it. It was damn crafty, that's for sure. Why would he do this? His inheritance, I presume. Something must have come up, and he needed money quickly. That's no reason to poison your own father. Blood is nothing but an obstacle to ambition. Or maybe he just hated my guts. How could anyone possibly hate you? Perhaps that could be said of the me you know, Lassie. But when you live as long as I have, you're bound to make an enemy or two. Mine just happened to be my son. And I don't think he even knows about the white hair girl. That apparently the grandfather knows, but so yeah. I was planning to give him everything anyway. He didn't have to do this. It all would have been his. Master, killing me doesn't accomplish anything. But guess it doesn't matter. Say, could I ask you something, young lady? What can I do for you? I don't want to get it out that Hayden Rhodes was poisoned. So could you tell people that I passed away peacefully with a beautiful nurse standing to my every need? Now, I think the grandchildren mentioned this about him passing away peacefully with the nurse. You're not dead yet. Please don't talk like that. You're scaring me. No stammering. But I'm not saying it will happen immediately. I am an old man, and one day you'll wake up and I'll be gone. This is about my own pride, not my son. The last thing I want is to go out with a black spot on my name. Tell me you do this, Giselle. Never said my name before. As you wish. Thank you. You're a peculiar girl, you know. Sometimes you seem greener than the leaves in summer. Sometimes you seem like you've seen 12 kinds of hell. And every so often, you seem not of this world. Your skin is pale, your head cold as ice. At one point, I thought you might be deaf himself. But I was wrong about that. You have too big of a heart to be deaf. You care too much. You must be carrying a very heavy cross on your back. What am I supposed to do? I don't want to lose you, Lord Hayden. I don't want to lose this life. You have someone, don't you, young lady? Someone you're dying to meet again. Well, she's not exactly dying, but she surely wished to meet with him again. Yes, but I don't know anymore. I don't know how long I'm supposed to keep waiting. If something doesn't happen soon, I don't think I can hold myself together much longer. I was so close to breaking down, and it was you who kept me on my feet. I'm sure you tried to remain strong plenty of times. So I'll give you some different advice. A trick for when you think you're losing hold of yourself. Build a cocoon. A cocoon? A sturdy shell to keep your weak inner self safe. This world has no interest in protecting you, only swallowing you whole. So you mustn't readily expose your true self. You build a cocoon, and you play the role you need to play. Yeah. Just like, Shinoko, like a mask to protect oneself. That way, the real you will remain unharmed. It's not pleasant to hide yourself like that, but it's better than letting the world crush you. But A word of warning. If you spend too long in the cocoon, the real you is liable to disappear forever. You'll be swallowed up by your own protective shell. Yeah. Sometimes when you're faking it, oh, faking it till you make it, it's not always a good thing. Hope you find whoever it is before it's too late. Now, I think I'll get some sleep. All this talking is warning me out. As you wish. Good night, Master. See you in the morning. Aye. See you in the morning, young lady. But will he see her in the morning? The next day, Hayden was dead. Yup, as I thought. He had strangled himself with his... Oh! That I did not expect. And yeah, his left hand, the one part of his body where he still had control of. I should have been more attentive. I should have recognized how much pain he was in. How much it crushed him to have been betrayed by his own family. I should have realized how he truly felt. How fragile he really was. I fell into hopeless gloom. I could hardly believe that the quiet life I had finally attained had been shattered in the blink of an eye. Hayden's other servants quickly went their own ways, and I vividly remember the dirty looks they all gave me. Everyone who knew how he had died assumed I had done it. I had no reason to kill him, though, but they had more than enough to believe so, for I had, indeed, been the last person to see him alive, and I held firmly to the story he had asked me to tell. While I was unable to convince the other servants, his family was far more accepting of the story that he had departed for the next world happily. Though that did not make the truth any less heartbreaking, especially since I was the only one who knew it. Why does this always have to happen? I was happy, but I can never seem to keep hold of it for more than a flash. Despair always comes marching in to rip it away. Yeah, this house has a special gift to do that. What what am I doing here? What kind of person were you, Michelle? What kind of person was I? Oh, my dear, you look positively miserable. Why should you despair at the death of some strange old geezer? Morgana, was Hayden one of those whom you wish to be reconstructed? I have no interest in that wrinkled bag of bones. And if he was one of them, do you really think I would have let him go so peacefully? Peaceful? You call that peaceful? You call his misery peaceful? I most certainly do. And since you do not seem to understand this, the pain of death lasts but an instant. The worst torture can only be inflicted on the living. Seeing two loved ones against one another, manipulating one into taking the other's life, and then forcing him to live with that. Seeing two loved ones against one another, manipulating. Stage hasn't even been set yet, my dear. And you would have me play a part in that? Indeed. You agreed to accompany me. So the stage for that? Two loved ones against one another, manipulating one into taking the other's life, and then forcing him to live with them. You are here to be my guide. And you're doing a wonderful job of it so far. I haven't done anything. Oh, but you killed that old man, did you not? Huh? Thanks to you, my wishes for one step closer to fruition. What? What do you mean I killed Hayden? You mean to claim you didn't? Tell me, who was it that put the poisoned sugar in his tea? No, I didn't mean to. Your intentions are irrelevant. Everything moves along the path forged by my wish. And you shall continue to follow its will. You know what? I'm done feeling like this. I don't want anyone else to go through what Hayden did. And what are you going to do about it? I'm done listening to you. Without me, you have no influence over this world. Oh? So I'll die. I'll take my own life right here and now. I grabbed a nearby knife and held the tip against my breast. My hands were shaking, my heart pounding. My whole body was wretched with terror. But I could have sworn I heard Morgana gasp. This was her one weakness, I thought. What are you thinking? Don't do this, Giselle. Don't be foolish. Put the knife down. Right now. I'm done trusting anything you say. Giselle, put the knife down. I missed you so very much, Michelle. I wanted nothing more than to see you again. With my being Morgana's guide, don't cause other people suffering, then I can't. It's all over, Morgana. Oh. Did Morgana just slap her? Huh? There's no blood? Oh, or maybe she just shanked herself, you know? Even pain? Why? Absolutely brilliant. I told you not to be foolish, but you just wouldn't listen, would you? Silly, silly girl. I really am. I could even die if I wanted to. Learning that absolutely crushed me. My backup plan, the one escape route I had thought available to me, had been ripped away. My spirit crumbled, and I felt myself sinking into a vast darkness. I began losing my grip on myself, which is when I recalled Hayden's advice. Build a cocoon. It was the only option I had left. final chance at protecting. Although ultimately I was unsuccessful in that endeavor, as you know. But by that point, my mind and spirit had all but been lost, eroded away by the years of solitude, the witch's whispers, and a brief glimmer of happiness, and the eternal, boundless darkness it had left one of us in, left me in. It was that moment that all light strained from my eyes, and it was in that moment that the maid was born. I feel like it's appropriate to end it here. Maybe I could have done like one more line of dialogue, but nope. So it still bothers me that I cannot remember the Wexen grandchildren's names. But yeah, now we got her living centuries as a maid in the mansion. And then Hayden Rhodes, the grandfather of the first story, came in here and taught Giselle the etiquettes and language of the modern world. And she lived happily until his sons poisoned him. And so she lost everything that had been constructed in this past couple of years. So now she's taking his advice and becoming the maid. So I wonder if we're gonna meet the others from the other story as well, or if that was the only story that we would have a different perspective from. But yeah, that is all for today. Here's what's gonna happen in the future, but that is until next time. So bye.